Hi angels, welcome back to another resin video. I know this mold looks so disgusting and so ugly and so nasty with a ton of leftover resin, hair, dirt, everything on it. But I had some resin that I just finished making something and a ton of resin that left over, so I had to pour it into a mold. And the inside of the mold was the cleanest mold that I had just laying around. So what I did was I poured on in there a little bit of some of my clear resin that ran over. I just poured on in there a little bit of some of my clear resin straight on into the mold. By the way, this is a heart mold that I got from Etsy. I'll leave the link for it down in the description box down below. After that, I had some ocean white pigments. I have my alcohol inks that I also got from Amazon. I'll leave the link for that down in the description box down below. So I'm just dripping a few little drops of some alcohol inks into the mold. I'm going with 3 of my different colors that I had. I don't even know the name of them, but trust me, when I find it, I'll let you guys know. I'm just pouring it all over the mold, making sure it gets all over the edge. No resin is without a little bit of some alcohol ink. After I did that, the ocean white from Let's Resin, I'm just going to pour all of that into the mold. Try to get it as best as I possibly can. All around the edges and all in there. You can see that the mold is cut in 3 parts, so as I'm pouring everything down, I'm being very mindful that I don't want none of the resin to be leaking out or anything like that. So after I poured everything on in there, I mixed up some resin with a little bit of some alcohol ink. I think it was in the color blue, so I had a ton of that was just laying around. So that's going to be the final layer. I'm making sure that I scoop up every piece of resin that I had just laying around because I don't want nothing to go to waste. So this is the blue resin that I had just laying around. So just poured it directly into the mold. You can see that there's a ton of bubbles in there. I just let the bubbles pop on their own. I forgot to spray the 99% ibuprofen alcohol in there, so if there's bubbles, unfortunately there are bubbles. So after pouring in all that resin, I realized that it's starting to leak out a little bit. So I need to get my elastic and start wrapping up this mold completely so that nothing leaks out. So at the edge right there, some was leaking out at the sides, but I got that under control. Thankfully, it was just like a little bit. So wrapping it 2 times with some elastic. This got a little bit way messier than I thought, so I should have been wearing gloves. But I wasn't. After I wrapped everything up, now it's time for me to just scoop. Oh, I had a container where I usually mix up my resin in, and I guess I had a little bit some resin left over that got cured into the cup. So I didn't want to waste it, obviously. So I wanted to put it into the mold as well. So what I did was I got my scissors and I just started cutting up all of the resin pieces into small pieces so that it could fit directly inside of the mold. You can see that the resin is very soft. It wasn't fully hard. So this was yesterday's project that resin was just laying around. Just poured it directly on top of everything. Still cutting up some pieces off camera. I know you guys can't see, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. And that's pretty much it. Oh, I still have a little bit of some blue resin and some white that I can just put on in there into the mold. And that piece of resin. It's basically putting everything on in there. We're gonna let this layer dry for a full 24 hours. And I saw that there was some space that was still left inside the mold, so I'm gonna mix up some more resin, probably repeat the same step with the alcohol ink and fill up the mold completely, and then that should be it. Making sure I get all of the resin out. Nothing goes to waste. Still making sure that I get all of the resin up on in there. And that's pretty much it. The only thing that I'm going to keep on doing is making sure that I scoop out all of the containers, all of the resin out of all of the containers I had just laying around. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It looks good so far. I don't know. We're just going to see how this turned out in the morning. I probably used this mold a few times, but 2 videos got deleted, so hopefully this one makes up for the lost cause. I said hopefully. Now I'm going to give you guys a close-up of how it looks. You can see a little smoke coming off of there. That means that the resin has already started to cure. And right there at the side, a little bit of some resin was leaking out. The other sides look perfectly fine, and that's good. Okay, so this is going to be the second and the final layer of resin. The first layer got cured overnight. So what I decided to do was repeat the same alcohol ink colors that I did before. So just add a few drops into the mold. I didn't want to open up the mold just in case if I ruined it or anything like that. So what I did was drop a little alcohol ink, and then I'm just going to mix up a little bit of some resin with some ocean white pigments. Just mix everything up. Ocean white pigments. It's hard to squeeze anything out of this bottle. Just a little bit. We're not going to be doing a lot. After that, just mix it. Make sure you mix it all the way through. You can see still, you can still see the dry resin from the first layer. I didn't clean out the plastic cup or anything like that. I just let it be. Mix in. After I mix up everything, now I'm going to be pouring in some clear resin inside. I should probably do the white and then the clear resin, but either way, it's fine. Now I'm going in with a white pigment, just a little bit. And then going in with a little bit more of some more resin. And we're just going to let this layer sit and cure for a full 24 hours or overnight. Probably just let it do overnight. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so it has been 24 hours. Let's see how this turned out. Look at the top. Something is leaking. So I don't know what is leaking. Ooh, Jesus, this is so messy. It's like a crime scene. God. Okay, hold on, let me see. This is the inside of the mold. Oh my. I really don't get how to use alcohol ink. Definitely gonna need to wash the molds, wash my hands. But this is how this turned out. It kind of looked good. Kind of looked pretty. But you can see that it's very, very messy. Very messy. This is the back. Need to clean it up. Need to cut off this part right here. There's no use for it. It's kind of like a cool alcohol ink effect on the second layer that I did. That doesn't quite look bad. Oh wow, super messy. But this is how this turned out. Let me go wash it with some soap and water, and then we can maybe get a better look, and I can clean up my hands because right now it's very messy. Let's see. Okay, so I just washed it off with some soap and water. You can see the what do you call it? Oh my god, it's so early in the morning, I'm having brain freeze. Whatever I use to wipe it off is sticking on there. It's very, very sticky. Not that sticky, but it's sticky. The back looks kind of cool. I love the side for the back. This is her in her full glory. Oh, I used a napkin. Whenever I was finished washing it, I used a napkin. You can still see some paper from the napkin on there. It's so windy. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm gonna go wash the silicone mold because I don't want it to get stained or anything like that. So, bye guys. Bye. Alrighty, so I'm trying to clean out the mold. You can see that it's looking good so far, but inside in here is so hard to reach with the cloth that I have. But this is the only part that is left to be stained. There's like little spots inside here and there, but I can just scrub it another time with some soap. But these are the hard parts I'm trying to get to. But the mold looks so pretty already. So much better from what we started. Oh, it's so much work. I'm just gonna let some water stay in here for like a few minutes. Maybe that will soften everything up. Oh, forgot I need to put some elastic around on these sides.